Russia, North Korea, and China are increasingly pressuring Japan, who has been focused on developing consumer electronics and domestic technology for nearly a century now. Japan sought to redirect its attention away from the war economy after the devastating effects of World War II. But now, it has decided it's time to focus on military developments once again. Why is the whole world afraid of Japan? And what is Japan doing behind the scenes to advance its military technologies? Here's exactly what you need to know. China and North Korea have been trying to crack down on Japan ever since their alliance. Before the alliance, Japan had adopted a pacifistic defense policy, whereas North Korea and China were more on the offensive. But now, after the China and North Korea-China alliance, Japan has decided to recalibrate its defense policy into a more offensive one. In recent months, the Japanese government has been discussing ways to conduct counter-missile strikes to deter or respond to any attacks from China or North Korea. And you'd be interested to know the other reason Japan did this: because of the recent Russia-Ukraine crisis. Russia decided to invade Ukraine, and ever since, Ukraine has been trying its best to fend off the increasing Russian campaign. Amidst these conditions, Japan fears that China and North Korea might try out something similar. Japan and the United States are close military allies, and it seems that those ties might become even tighter in the coming years as the two countries start exploring more opportunities in regard to research and development. You see, Japan, the US, Australia, and India are part of an international collaboration by the name of Quad, which aims to enhance technological collaboration. The United States has been the top international weapons seller to Japan and has made sure to provide a staggering 97% of the country's defense equipment imports dating back from 2016 to as recent as 2022. This was reported by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, or SIPRI's, latest report on the international arms transfer trends. The SIPRI's report stated that Japan's arms imports would probably continue to rise depending on new orders for arms from the USA. In addition, the US and Japanese military forces are rumored to hold joint exercises. The US has more than 50,000 troops stationed in Japan. In Tokyo's case, the US-Japan bilateral defense relationship is quintessential for the defense of Japan, according to Jacob Stokes, a fellow at the Indo-Pacific Security Program at the New American Security think tank. There have been increasing concerns about China's increasing military modernization paired with its increasing regional assertiveness. These are pretty much the primary factors for driving Japanese threat perceptions through the roof, and defense investments have increased tremendously following these concerns. Tokyo has been planning to acquire the US-made aircrafts, such as the A and B variants of the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, V-22 Osprey tilt-rotor aircraft, Aegis naval weapon systems, and PAC-3 missile segment enhancement interceptors. In addition, Japan is looking forward to investing in the E-2D Advanced Hawkeye, which is a command and control aircraft, the R1=4 Global Hawk intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance drones, SM-6 missiles, and other armaments. Kyosuke Matsumoto was asked to address the increasing military acquisitions from the US, and he said that they'd gone ahead to purchase a lot of US-made equipment. He stated that they've relied on the US in many parts of their life, especially in the acquisition of advanced military technology. But there are increasing concerns in regards to technological competitiveness as the US and Japan fear that they're on the verge of losing their military and technological edge over China. China has been actively investing in military research and development, according to ATLA Commissioner Suzuki Atsuo. He stated that in order to keep the upper hand in technological superiority, they need to invest more into their research and development departments. He stated this in a speech at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, D.C. How does that even ensure getting the upper hand? According to him, it's only possible if the allies and partners continue to provide indispensable support despite Japan's limited resources. It seems that Japan is really stepping up their military game as they are requesting a total of $2.8 billion for research and development, which is a staggering 50% increase compared to the previous year. Japan hopes to invest all of this money in producing game-changing technologies in the fields of space, cyber, and electronic warfare. Additionally, Japan is looking to invest in artificial intelligence and directed energy weapons. ATLA has gone ahead and recruited many highly skilled engineers outside of the agency to further help in assessing and developing the respective technologies. It seems that Japan and the United States have already pursued cooperative development and military technology production, such as the SM-3 Block IIA missile interceptor, which was extensively developed by Raytheon and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. But Tokyo doesn't want to stop there. They want to build upon their success in military technologies by collaborating with the Pentagon's Research and Development and Engineering Directorate. The Prime Minister of Japan, Yoshihide Suga, aims to continue Japan's sweeping upgrade of most of its defensive capabilities amidst the major buildup of China's military forces. The increasing pressure of North Korea's growing missile arsenal and continued activities by Russia's military in East Asia are a solid concern for Japan. But Suga's efforts, including boosting the military budget, had to match the efforts in controlling the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic in Japan. Japanese leaders are doing the very best they can to try to find the perfect balance between the development of indigenous capabilities and receiving support from the United States for military progression. It seems that much of the credit for upgrading Japanese defenses goes to the former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. He spent nearly 8 years in the office and a supermajority in the lower house of the National Diet. Abe went ahead and implemented an unprecedented series of security reforms. Back in 2013, Japan announced that they were going for a new national security strategy. Japan took another step in military development by adopting a 10-year defense plan and a midterm procurement plan. Abe also went ahead and made an amendment to the Constitution of Japan, which is rarely ever done. Abe made sure to reinterpret Article 9 of the Constitution of Japan to allow the military, the self-defense forces, to cooperate with the foreign military to preserve the peace and sovereignty of Japan. The new security laws that passed the Diet in 2015 were met with considerable protest from the opposition, lawmakers, and the public. After years of stagnation in regards to military spending, the SDF was pretty much overdue for upgrades in the air and maritime defense systems. Considering that Japan's neighboring countries were pouring a considerable portion of their budget into airspace and space development, Japan followed suit and decided to invest in space and cyber capabilities. Japan has also gone ahead to improve its competitiveness in the technology sector. With the establishment of the Acquisition, Technology, and Logistics Agency in the Ministry of Defense, new incentives were created for Japanese companies and university-based researchers to compete with military technologies globally. The military economy in Japan has improved significantly as Japanese defense companies are competing abroad for military sales. Suga is trying his best to build upon his efforts, but due to the conservative nature of Japan, he's going to face significant challenges. This is first concerned with domestic policies, as Suga entered office in September, where the government had to first confront the COVID-19 pandemic and deal with its economic consequences. By the fall of 2021, the Liberal Democratic Party dealt with a lower house election, and just like many other democracies around the world, Japanese voters had to evaluate the pandemic response as they headed towards polls. Recovery from the impacts of the pandemic also took a hit on the budget of the Ministry of Defense needs to implement long-term plans. The government has gone ahead to work on a new national security strategy, as well as revising its approach to ballistic missile defense. In June of 2020, the then Minister of Defense, Taro Kano, informed the United States that Japan would not be purchasing the US-made Aegis Ashore missile defense system due to their political and technical problems. Japan is still considering whether it needs offensive strike capabilities in order to counter the probable North Korean threats. With the increasing military advancement, collaborative research and development as part of the Quad, and acquisition of US-made military systems, it seems like Japan is doing all that it can to gear up and defend itself against any military campaigns that might happen. Whether it's threats by the alliance formed by North Korea and China, or the Russian campaign in East Asia and Ukraine, Japan won't back off without a fight. Surely, the acquisitions are just to show the world that Japan is and will be a formidable foe. And in the face of a threat, Japan will do all it can to defend itself. And that is exactly why we should fear Japan. And that's pretty much why you should fear Japan. Japan is ready to face war dead in the eyes. But will it take the first move and initiate war? We hope not. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. And with that said, bye!